if I ever need to show somebody a build, this build has got to be one of my best builds, and I forever fucking love it. So, 4. And this is also for like anybody who doesn't really know what my build is. I present the Whackus Bonkus build. The main thing when it comes to attributes: body, reflex, technical ability. Intelligence and cool, those are really not necessary. These are the 3 attributes you are strongly going to need. And I will do a rundown on the skills. So, for the body attribute, pretty much all of the blunt weapon skills. So, of course, reducing stamina cost. You can also charge into enemies. And then all the extra stuff, which is just more so basically more armor penetration, some bonuses when you block attacks. You can even wait, what? Minus 40% incoming range damage when blocking with blunt weapons, so you have some sort of self-defense. You can do knockdowns, which, if you don't know my weapon of choice, I always go with the baseball bat, because out of all the blunt weapons, there are hammers, but in my opinion, they're slow. They deal a lot of damage, but me personally, I like fast attack speed. So the bat is like the best blunt weapon in my opinion, because you have that attack speed. And, you know, further down the main vanilla storyline, you can come across, well, actually it's not in the storyline, it's one of the, when you do the carry quest lines, you'll come across this specific one I'm using, the gold-plated baseball bat, which has to be my favorite one. Anyways, back to the build. Then, of course, you know, less stamina cost, a boost to your attack speed, and then you're able to do a slam down once you get this one up to level 3. And of course you can do superhero landing, so when you're up in the air and you do your ground slam, you can deal a lot more damage, and it's easier to take out a group of people that way. Also, it's just kind of fun. And of course, oh, yeah, I suppose you would need this one. When Quake is performed from midair, the superhero landing. Oh, it's just a bonus for that one. I didn't really read all of it. I just knew, like, all of this for the build. And then, yeah. You get stamina back when you hit enemies with Quake. The finisher, is I mean, you can take it or leave it, but for me, I personally love this so much because this gives you 2 finishers. One is basically just giving them the final strike, you know, taking them out. Or you can straight up just pick them up and throw them at other people. You can beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. The best part about it, it doesn't even have to be a finisher. You can take them out, however, you can pick up their corpses and still throw them. So this is my favorite perk of the build ever. So basically, for body attribute, go with 20 because you will get the best perk. And of course, the military, you get health regeneration. Best combo, you know, obviously get painkiller. So you get health regen in combat. Regardless, it is slow. Get Dwarf Head, because again, you will also need technical ability. And what was it? Yeah, you will also need a blood pump, which is a cyberware. So it functions as a health item. So when you go into technical ability, this tree right here, you don't have to go all the way up here, but I decided to do so just for extra flair for the build. You know, grenades and baseball bats, fuck yes. But mainly, like, at least up to the second part of the tree. Because anything that says, you know, any boost for health items, that does apply to the blood pump. So even faster recharge. Let's see, yeah, 100% instant recharge of a health item after neutralizing an enemy if you're below 25% health or have no charges remaining. And then 50% faster use of health items. You know, so basically you're constantly getting your health item back at a faster rate. And with a blood pump, that it comes in clutch, especially in combat. And then yeah, with Dwarf Head, when you use the blood pump, you get a chance to reduce any incoming damage at a default of 50%. So you can actually take more of a beating. And, you know, just extra health regen and all that. Then when you start getting up to Adrenaline Rush, I mean, you can read it right here. You're level 1, more health. Level 2, you get extra health regen from all sources. Level 3, that's when you get the Adrenaline Rush. In addition to their base effects, blood pump, cyberware, and health items now also give adrenaline equal to 30% max health, up to a max of 50%. So basically, you get like a secondary health bar. And then of course, you know, just some added bonuses. So like Unstoppable Force, you gain immunity to movement penalties. Juggernaut, more movement speed, more damage. And then Calm Mind, when Adrenaline Rush is active, a 3-second delay before adrenaline begins to decay, so you have adrenaline for a longer period of time. And then of course, you know, like I said, highly recommend you get body up to 20, so you can get the Savage Sling, but get Pain to Gain an additional 20% health item recharge. So it goes back to utilizing the blood pump, so you're constantly having that healing, that healing item, which is the beauty of, you know, the cyberware. Because then you don't have to rely on having med kits all the time. So that's the body. Reflexes. Nothing too fancy. I do recommend you go up to 20, just so you can go fully down this middle tree, just for that mobility. So you can, let's see, yeah, starting at the bottom, the faster you move, the more difficult it is for enemies to shoot you. So you can literally just run around and you'll have a small chance of actually getting hit. You'll still get hit, but not often. You know, better power slide. Parkour, I mean, take it or leave it, but yeah, increased vaulting and climbing speed, so, you know, you can climb flat faster and all that. These two, I mean, reload, yeah, faster reload, not faster, allows you to reload while sprinting, sliding, or vaulting. Allows you to, multitasker, allows you to shoot while sprinting, sliding, or vaulting. Since these are more for guns, and with my build meaning just a baseball bat, yeah, pretty unnecessary. You know, and then you get the dash ability, then the air dash, and then you get tailwind. So, you know, it is recommended you get reflexes up to 20, because then this will reduce all your stamina for your air dashes, so you can be mobile as fuck. You can do more dashes, you can dash in the air, which, you know, it's very helpful. So yeah, not much for reflexes, but definitely helpful, especially with a more melee-centered build. And then with technical ability, I already explained, you know, just up to here for your health item recharge, just so you still have health items. So again, you don't have to rely having a supply of med kits, because once you get blood pump, or even if you're lucky enough, get the biomonitor, because the biomonitor, it automatically heals you when your health drops below 50. And it'll grab a health item, but again, if you grab the blood pump, boom, these two work hand to hand beautifully. So when you're in combat and, you know, someone takes a heavy hit on you, your biomonitor will trigger your blood pump, and then, you know, back to your technical ability, you know, you get all these bonuses for the recharge speed. Basically, it's like having a healing factor. And again, further up is just for more grenades. I didn't even notice this one with Pyromania, you know, more recharge speed. But then, yeah, the last two levels on Pyromania, bigger explosion radius. Let's see, when you accumulate 5 stacks of Pyromania, they will be consumed to instantly replenish a grenade charge. So, again, you know, you don't necessarily have to do grenades. Like, you can handle on fights with just a bat alone. But grenades, it just adds some spice to your gameplay, in my opinion. Yeah, and then friendlier fire, so you take less damage from your own explosions because, well, that'll happen. And of course, you know, from the research I've done and from my experience, this tree is basically a core necessity for a lot of builds, because you want to have that cyberware capacity to, well, have more power and so on and so forth. So, you know, yeah. This one I kind of feel like I don't necessarily have to go through the whole thing, because, yeah, this is just more for the cyberware purposes. You know, some handy ones like Cyborg, reduce cooldown, extended warranty, so increases the duration for all your cyberware effects. This tidbit right here, this is only if you're using the projectile launch system, aka your rocket arm, which is kind of nice because it gives you more charges, a faster recharge speed. So it's kind of nice. But with Edge Runner, it is very helpful for when you're going cyberware heavy, because this will allow you to exceed your cyberware capacity by 50 points, but at a cost at very little health. And then the fun part, when you neutralize an enemy during combat, there is a 0.1% chance for each point your overcapacity that you'll enter a fury state, in which you do more damage, have a higher critical damage chance, and higher critical damage. So you can go on a full-blown frenzy with Edge Runner, and as you can see in this little footage right there, you can pretty much just go ballistic on a lot of people. So that's pretty much the main part. Just, yeah, that's the main ordeal of the build. Again, cool and intelligence, not very necessary. So, I mean, you can go either way. Intelligence, that's if you're planning on using a cyber deck. Cool if you actually do want to do, like, a little bit of sneaky here and there. This part, I mean, this is just with the DLC, so for people who don't have the DLC, don't really gotta worry about it. So, and again, I just use the baseball bat. As far as cyberware goes, I use the Berserk operating system. Just because it seems fitting for the build. And then, yeah, for the eyes, I always like going with the Oracle because it'll highlight enemies, cameras and turrets, and explosive devices. So you can basically see any hazards. The hands, I mean, don't really need much. I mean, yeah. I just kept with the tattoo just for the sake of filling it. Circulatory system, again, already covered the blood pump, the biomonitor. And then I went with adrenaline booster. So you get stamina back every time you take out an enemy with melee damage. So, because when you do melee, it does cost stamina. So with a lot of stamina boosts, you know, the more you can get back in stamina, the better. Legs, good old-fashioned double jump for that mobility. You can use whatever you want, but I mean, how the fuck can you turn away fucking double jumps? Frontal cortex, I mean, I just kind of threw these on there, just why not? Deal more damage against drones, robots, mechs, and turrets. Self-ice, I will say, is pretty handy against net runners because, as it says right here, automatically negates an enemy quick hack. So when they try to quick hack you, it will basically say, fuck you, fuck your quick hack, this ain't happening. As for arms go, I mean, again, kind of your preference. You can use projectile launch system, or you can go with gorilla arms, A or B. As far as the skeleton goes, I mean, something that'll increase armor, that's always helpful. And I went with dense marrow just because, you know, you get more melee damage. Yes, there is more stamina cost using this cyberware, but again, when you're utilizing the reflex and body perks, it'll pretty much negate that stamina cost. Really don't gotta worry about it. Now, you know, and I recently just got these iconic cyberware, but I mean, essentially kind of same principle. There's vanilla versions of these, so basically more movement speed when entering combat because, well, I mean, who doesn't like running around at the speed of sound in combat, especially when you're bonking people with a bat? The atomic sensors increases movement speed when detected by an enemy. So basically, when you're spotted by an enemy, you move faster. And then this one slows down time when your health drops below 25%. Will come in handy, so when you're very low on health, you're out of health charges, which is a very rare occasion, but it does help. You know, time will slow down, so you have a chance to either get the fuck out or get yourself in a better position where you can have the upper hand in combat. As far as this part, I can't read that fucking word. Subdural armor, just for having armor. Again, there's vanilla versions of these ones, but I just can't remember the name. But, you know, the closer you are to an attacking enemy, the less damage they will actually deal to you. Well, if you're doing melee damage, you are going to be up close and personal, so that's fucking handy. In this one, I don't think there is a vanilla version of this one, but basically this gives you more health regeneration per attribute point, so your attribute points in the body, so I'm already getting 200% health regeneration rate, so that's very nice. I believe what I was using before was the nano plating, which gives you a chance to block an incoming projectile. Higher bonus chance when you do a dash, so basically easier to dodge getting shot at with projectiles. So that's all for cyberware, and yeah, it's a fairly simple build, but yet very strong and powerful. And I don't even think I'm at max level yet. So now for the fun part, watching it in action. In case if anybody hasn't watched enough of seeing people get fucking bonked, because this part just brings me oh so much fucking joy. And I'm only familiar with this bot because back when the game first launched, this was actually an XP farm area, because you can literally run here, take out the enemies, run back to the train station, run back, and they will respawn. So this would be a good spot to just kind of demonstrate. So right there. Already knocked out those people quite easily. And I beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. So that right there, you can see how fucking powerful this build actually is. And good, more people to demonstrate. Come here, fucker. And I can guarantee you, it's very satisfying. So now, the I'll throw in a little bonus. Because in case you didn't notice those blue squares, I'll explain that. It is part of, spoiler alert, this is part of the DLC. So you do get an extra perk tree. And this is with, you know, using relic points instead of your regular skill points and attribute points. So, what I ended up doing, I mean, when you first start this, you always start off with jailbreak. So it just gives new abilities to basically your arm cyberware. So, like with Manus Blades, you're basically able to do a long-range leap attack. With Gorilla Arms, you can actually do a charge attack, which will release a shockwave. The projectile launch system, you can now do a burst fire of 5 projectiles. The monowire, when fully charged, it releases an attack to deal damage and upload a quick hack without paying for RAM. And the ones I have so far, I got one for the Gorilla Arm, so the shockwave from a charged Gorilla Arm attack now knocks down all enemies within range, so a larger area of effect. Now those blue squares you were seeing, vulnerability analytics. So during combat, you can detect vulnerabilities. So basically, it'll show weak points on the enemy. So you hit that weak point, you deal more damage. You go to machine learning. Destroying an enemy's vulnerability grants 100% frequency of new vulnerabilities appearing. Wait a minute, did it show here? Dealing enough damage to the vulnerability causes it to explode, generating an EMP blast. So that right there, you hit their weak point enough times, they explode. Which also, I don't, yeah. This perk right here, ticking time bomb. So anytime you use your operating system cyberware, you will release a EMP after 3 seconds. So again, you can shock people and just start beating the shit out of them. So this was the most fun build I've done in this game. I fucking love this build. But yeah, this will conclude my playthrough with this build.